In Sleepwalk with Me, a stand-up comedian struggles with the stress of a stalled career, a stale relationship, and the wild spurts of severe sleepwalking he is desperate to ignore.
So here's what happened. My girlfriend Abby and I moved in together. She's great. And my sister Janet got engaged.
You're next. Coming your way, baby. Batter up.
And everyone started talking about marriage.
How long have you and Abby been together?
8 years.
I don't remember it being so long. That's ridiculous.
And that night,
Abby!
I started walking in my sleep.
There's a jackal in the room.
Come back to bed.
How long has this sleepwalking been going on? I don't think it's that serious.
I wasn't familiar with Mike Birbiglia's comedy, but I did hear a lot about his movie, Sleepwalk with Me, at the festivals I went to in 2012. I believe it did really well at Sundance, and it got a lot of buzz at South by Southwest. And unfortunately, I was never able to catch it, although I really wanted to just based on the hype. But I finally got to check it out, and I have to say, it deserves all that buzz because it is great, it is interesting, it is genuine, and it is hilarious. I mean, I was laughing throughout the whole thing, but even more so than just being funny, I really loved the heart that it had behind it. And I imagine comedians would really enjoy this movie specifically because, aside from the fact that it's got that heart that I'm sure they can relate to, it also has a lot of cameos from other different comedians, so they'd probably really enjoy that. But let's get a little more in-depth with Sleepwalk with Me, starting off with the plot, which I believe is a true story, if we are to believe Mike Birbiglia. And like I said, it's got a lot of heart to it, and that is actually probably my favorite aspect of the movie. Aside from the fact that it's very funny, it really shows the struggle that I imagine Mike Birbiglia really went through. It felt very real and very genuine, like I said. That might just be in his performance or in the directing, but I'm sure it starts there. And I mean, it's Mike Birbiglia's movie in general, so it all is with him. But I really enjoyed this little story, and I loved the fact that he was going on the road, and I felt like I was right there along with him. I felt excited for him, and I really loved the narrative style, and I don't know if this was planned in the writing of it or if it was more so when it came to directing it, but I loved how he was telling the story, and it wasn't just narrated, it was literally being told to us. He's sitting in the car talking to us as if we're in the passenger seat or something. I thought that was really cool, really interesting. As far as the directing goes, I thought that the movie was paced very well. I felt, once again, like I was right along for the ride, and I certainly was enjoying it. And I also loved the editing of this movie. The crazy dream sequences were great, but the way they were cut, where, you know, it would be the crazy dream and then all of a sudden abruptly cut to just silence where he's actually just sleepwalking, and then back to the action. I thought that was hilarious. And acting-wise, I thought everybody was very good. Mike Birbiglia, I don't know if he was really just playing himself, not acting at all, but I really liked him, and I do think that he had this very genuine quality to him, and that might just be because it's true, and he's just playing himself, essentially. But regardless, it definitely didn't feel forced. It felt very natural, and I really appreciated that because, once again, I was excited for him when he got his gigs, and I was actually, like, talking out loud when he was considering not doing a gig. I was like, no, do it! So I was definitely getting into it. And the other thing I have to mention, of course, is that, as I said, there were lots of cameos. The two I specifically enjoyed were David Wayne, and I just wish he was in it more, but Kristen Schaal was hilarious as well. That whole scene, the lip sync contest, was brilliant, and it is a clear sign that I was very in tune with the humor of this movie. It was definitely right up my alley in that sense. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed Sleepwalk with Me. I thought that it was probably something great for comedians to watch because I'm sure they can relate to it, being on the road, doing these small gigs that pay nothing. But let me know if you are a comedian and whether or not you enjoyed this movie, or of course let me know regardless of whether or not you're a comedian, if you enjoyed the movie. Let me know who was your favorite comedian cameo. Let me know anything that you want about Sleepwalk with Me, and that's pretty much it.
Nice shirt, loser. Sorry. No, I like it. It's nice.